live. We are live. So we are live now.
Now, the most important thing is making sure that we're vocal.
That the audio's working?
Yes.
All right. Hold on.
I got it. Well, that's an ad.
I was going to say, well, you have to wait for the ad. So hopefully our audio's working.
But welcome, everyone.
What's up, everyone? I'm the Chashiro from the Toku and Animation News Network with
Cruellica Kain.
And welcome to our first live stream of 2025. Hopefully the audio is working.
It is.
Oh, I was about to say, someone in the comments, tell us if the audio is working.
But it is working. Woo!
So we are going to be talking about episodes 37 through 43 and the summer movie of Boonboomger. We've got Spinder coming down, making a crazy cool thriller entrance. We've got Itasha going Disney. A special Gokaiger guest. Chashiro going all loner. Mech battles.
Like that loner bot that...
Chicks really dig loner bit from Waspinator.
That was loner bot, not bit.
Loner bit.
Oh.
Beast machines. Waspinator when he's in Thrust body.
Well, I remember, and I'm just trying to make sure the cat doesn't knock over the tree because I started taking all my Christmas decorations down. But hello, everyone, and welcome to our video numero uno of 2025.
Yeah, I just said that.
I know, but I'm saying it, so it's cooler.
Right. Okay.
Yes.
Ichi.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. But no, it's been pretty cool. Well, some of the episodes were not so awesome.
Yeah.
Some of the episodes were good. One of the episodes I fell asleep during.
Which was the... I actually have to say that's probably my worst episode of the entire show at this point. I thought it was worse than the Joe episode from earlier in the show with the dinosaur. But, all right, so our first episode...
Well, I just thought about it. Due to one of the episodes, we have two Joes in it. Yo, Joe!
And knowing is half the battle.
G.I. Joe!
The other half are blue lasers and red lasers.
All right, well, getting back on track.
Okay, so we had our first episode, 37, was...
Wow! I like how you depend on me. First episode for number 37 was called Two Spies. It was our James Bond episode.
Yeah, I thought based on the credits when we last saw it that this was going to really go into Chashiro's like backstory.
I felt like we got some.
And it was just like, oh, there's no backstory outside of he worked with a spy girl who is apparently now dead.
Well, assumptively dead. There's no body. But I will say that being he's a spy, we generally don't get a lot of story around spy.
But
okay, how much do you know about James Bond? If you look at it just from the movies, not from the books.
Well, it just depends what you mean by what do you know.
Like, what do you truly know about James Bond's backstory?
Well, his parents died when he was young.
Okay.
He grew up. He was taken to a mansion and grew up.
Mm-hmm.
Was raised as adopted, and then he became an agent for the government and was very effective at his job. So they gave him the 007 status.
But what does that truly tell you?
Well, I'm summarizing.
No, I understand, but
I'm just saying, though.
In all legitimacy, you don't know the entire backstory.
Okay, but as from a writing perspective of a 50-episode show, it still needs to be done.
I have no complaints.
I do.
Well, you always have complaints.
Well, I'm reviewing them, so I have complaints if they don't do stuff with characters.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so we get this Chashiro episode. I do like that. It basically was the plot of the Die Ranger one, where they take the one Ranger, they make a duplicate clone, and then the monster duplicates the others in the middle of battle. The only thing he didn't do was duplicate their mecha.
Yes.
But I liked how Taya instantly knew it was not Chashiro. And the fight between the two was really cool.
Well, it seemed like Taya knew it wasn't Chashiro.
And Genbu.
And
Or
Gemba. Gemba also knew, but then again, he's in procurement. So it's kind of funny when you say he's in procurement because of the villains being the mafiosa. Because part of the mafiosa is somebody who's in procurement, who gets...
I forgot about the movie subtitles, because the movie
What?
subtitles said he was the provider.
I like procurement better, because procurement is truthfully what it's supposed to be.
Well, I think they went with terms used by mafia stories.
In Overtime?
Yeah,
Or-
I think
yeah.
Overtime used because
Well, they also call him the consigliere, which is, well, the consigliere. It's a hard Italian name because there's so many letters, but basically they are truthfully the most trusted person to the Don, which you could think of the Don as like a king, so to speak. But the episode, I actually liked it because it, even though you knew what was going to happen, it was still kind of cool to see how everything goes down.
all right, and then we have our next episode is the one with Yarukar, where someone from his race comes down and says, "Oh, you're supposed to be at this high-end high school, so go there now, and you can be a leader because you're doing more work than even the people at the school."
Because basically, Yaru is supposedly this prodigy child that was so powerful.
He blew himself off their planet.
He blew himself off their planet, and then as he was flying through the sky, he got hit by an errant comet that lost his crest, which is like, think of the dude from Guardians. I can't remember his stupid name. All I remember is Mary Poppins.
Warhawk?
Warhawk.
Or
No.
Well, his comic book superhero name is Warhawk.
Oh.
Oh my God, Yandu.
Yandu. And then
Or
he
Starhawk.
lost his cross. He lost his crest, and then lost his memories at the same time.
And then he was found by Itasha and Decotrade.
Yeah, Decotrade.
Who
But
I think they've changed the spelling of in these recent episodes.
of his name, yes. Itasha is always the same.
But yeah, so we find out Yurikar is from a race of beings that are like little car men. And the guy that comes down sucks all this gasoline from the entire various parts of Japan all at one time. And they're all like, okay, we're breaking up the gang. We're not going to be the three goons anymore.
Well, the adults in the room do it because they want to give Yaru a chance to be who he's supposed to be. And then inevitably, as Yaru is going on, he's like, wait, I'm like Meowth. I can't leave Team Rocket. Without me, Team Rocket won't be as successful as they are.
But then, so we've got two monsters that are repainted costumes. When I said they should start calling them Rehasha aliens,
Well, the movie makes a really good comment about that.
which their names were John and Bovi.
Mhm. I know. I was like, wow, why don't you just have the Bond there eat as well so you can fully get hit with copyright infringement over a name?
But then we get introduced to our new villain, the
consigliere.
yeah,
The
that guy.
consigliere.
Grant's Risk.
Yes. Which I love the fact that his umbrella is so multi-use. So it reminded me of when I was watching Black Lagoon. near the end of the series, which short series I need to have you watch. It's super fucking awesome. But anyways, at the end of the series, there's this maid or nanny who comes in called Roberta, who has an umbrella, a black umbrella that is bulletproof, that can shoot as a gun, and
So it's Penguin.
And the main character, Revi's comment is, I know what I want for Christmas! So it stuck with me because I'm like, one, that was the coolest weapon ever. And two, I love the line of just the randomness of it. So every time I see a character like that with a black umbrella that's so multifunctional. But Risk really just lays into all the Boonboomgers and kicks their ass without effort. It went to this point of being...
You have entered a level 70 boss when you're at level 40.
Well, yeah, because I actually said while we were watching, I was like, here's level, here's you never getting there. Because it was so...
It actually made me think of
outpaced.
The Witcher when I'm at level 12 and I go into the area like, I can take this level 20 boss. He's only 8 levels higher than me.
Why do you think I grind so much?
And then we also have, as the one Yadukar is going way, I think his name was.
Yeah, way.
He's going back to this portal, and out comes Speedor from Gokaiger, and then he just merges with Boondy to create a Gokaiger version of Boondy.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like, yep, gotta sell those toys. And then after it's all over, Speeder basically is like, my job here is done. These kids want this toy. Bye. But we have also with Killer Robo exploding. And you really did have that Team Rocket blasting off again moment.
Yes. We had it twice in these episodes. Well, before we continue, I do want to go into the chat real quick. Mr. Arrowverse16 says, hello. And then Anthony Sarkis says,
hey.
Greetings, Kami-sama, and then hello to me. Hoping that I had a good New Year's. Not that you had a good New Year's, just me. Which I think is important because I live with them. So I always need a good New Year's. But no, in all honesty, we had a good New Year's. The two of us with Silver Quill and another one of our friends, Chris, played this game called Betrayal Legacy. It's actually a really fun board game. It's very intensive, though.
And very complicated at times.
Yes, but I enjoy it for the ridiculousness of it. And then Tim Stalling says, I'm here for that boom, boom, baby. Every time I hear boom, boom, like just that, I think of the Black Eyed Peas song, Boom, Boom, Pow. And I was like, God, I would love to try to do a mix to see if I can ever work those two.
Okay.
Then Common Rider 64 says, hello, my Toku fans. And then it's Box Night, but I love the spelling of it. Says, hey, Kaiju and Cruellica, how have you guys been? I've been good. Admittedly, if we go in IRL, I've been pretty good, sleeping a whole hell of a lot, but been playing Persona 3 Reloaded a lot.
We saw Nosferatu for a second time, which was
with all of our friends.
Amazing. Again, even better than the first time.
But I have been just relaxing a lot for my vacation.
And I've been working on my Ninja Turtles Season 1 review and nearly done with V3.
And I marathoned all Season 3 of the show Evil. And I am so excited to see how it ends. Because apparently, since they knew it was ending, they actually worked to give it a conclusive ending.
Mm.
And then we have Anthony saying it was really good seeing Joe again, since he's my favorite Gokaiger member. So we'll get to that in a moment. Then we have Anthony also saying, do you think everything with Gokai Blue is a prelude to Gokaiger? I'm trying to get used to the new name, so that's why I'm saying it so slow.
Gojuger.
Gojuger. It sounds like gibberish coming out of my mouth.
Gojuger.
It's like saying half the...
Daijujin.
Yes, it's like saying half the mecha names from the 90s. Gojuger. Gojuger. Gojuger.
Daijujin. Daijin Ryu.
Oh God, I hate those names because every time I say them,
Ryuseo.
I like the names. Don't get me wrong, but every time they come out of this mouth, they sound like other gibberish. They don't sound like real words. Anybody else says them, they sound like they make sense. Me saying them, I feel like a 5-year-old doing baby talk again. Looks like Halloween came way too early this year. Nice. So yeah, we have a lot of horror movie blankets. This actually I got from Temu. It says, this is my horror movie watching blanket. So I was like, the hell with it. I must have something. Even though every blanket I have is my horror movie watching.
But I don't think it's really hinting at anything for Gojuger specifically.
Oh yeah.
I think it was more of because the Gokaiger toy for the new mech line was just announced, so they got to push that toy out, which we'll talk about when we get to that episode.
And then and I think that's a good point because we are at that point where they need to, as the movie says, get through their stock. And then Anthony shares, fun fact, Deco Trade's voice actor does the voice of Sentinel Prime in the Japanese dub of Transformers Animated.
Mm-hmm. Which is kind of funny because...
Wait, we watched the English.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is funny because Michelangelo's voice actor from Ninja Turtles voices Sentinel Prime in the...
American.
The American version.
And SpongeBob is who does Starscream.
Yes.
Because Starscream is my ultimate favorite Transformers character. And then question is, Commodore 64, when's your next Let's Talk video? So
I will probably get another one sometime this month. I've got a few ideas rolling. I just have to get in the mood to want to record them.
Well, I have one that I'll be doing. Maybe mine will come out before yours because I actually need to sit in front of the camera and do it. And probably make a lot of people angry while I do family-wise.
Who cares?
But I will be doing a Let's Talk on a couple of different items. And they're going to be hard topics, but they're important to talk about. And then Thea Games 10 says, hello.
Yo.
And then asks, what are our New Year's resolutions for you and myself?
I don't deal with resolutions.
He doesn't believe in resolutions, mainly because he believes that most people who make resolutions do not commit to them.
Or they will for like 10 minutes. But they really don't. I don't feel they actually make a difference. Why wait to the new year to do something that you could have done 6 months ago?
But I would say for myself, not a resolution, because that's not why I decided upon it. But my choice for this year to really commit to is finding ways to be happy. Not that I'm not happy, not that our lives are terrible or anything like that, but being happy, trying new things, which is one of the reasons that I know we've mentioned it in other videos, that we are possibly looking to move to another state. So hopefully being a new environment, making new friends and trying new things, and while keeping our old friends here, will be a fun thing to do. And then, so what's your rating for the car Sentai?
I don't know. Right now, it's...
The car Sentais.
Wait. I'm not sure what that means then. I thought it was like what the rating currently would be for this show.
Oh.
And what is the Mac trying to do?
What does it say?
Verify. I have no idea.
He He's using, for all of these live streams, he uses my MacBook. And sometimes the MacBook goes a little crazy because it's Apple. And I tend to be very cautious of Apple. That's why I only have the MacBook and my work cell phone.
Apple is very rotten to the core.
But with that said, on New Year's resolutions, not that people don't commit to them. A lot of people do. So share in the comments what yours is, and maybe we can hold ourselves accountable for trying different things. Like his New Year resolution should be for you and building a stronger relationship.
I'm working on that.
I know you
so
are.
It doesn't need to be a resolution because it's something I'm already doing.
But yeah, please put your resolutions in the chat and we can hold each other accountable.
All right. So.
And then we have.
Well, so Goju is the way Jeff.
Oh, for V. Oh, nothing. Sorry.
Where he says, I say Gojuger with a Z instead of a J. Well, it's just Z is pronounced as a J sound in Japanese.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, yes, it is spelled with a Z, but it's pronounced with a J sound. Just like Ju Ranger, Dai Ju Jin, even though they're spelled with Z's, it's just the way they pronounce the Z's in Japanese.
Absolutely. No, that makes a lot of sense. And honestly, for Ju Ranger, I used to pronounce it Zoo Ranger because I did not know that early on. And then Box Night, yeah, definitely if you've been busy this week, and usually the week after Christmas, even though it's New Year's, is hella insane with everywhere. Definitely take some time out for yourself. And Nosferatu is a great movie. We liked it so much we saw it twice so we could see it with our friends as well. But for anyone who's unaware, or for yourself, Box Night, or anybody else, it is a love letter to the original 1922 silent film of Nosferatu with obviously updates based on technology and things like that. But it is still that bootleg version of Dracula as the 1922 movie was. And then, how is V3?
V3's been really good for the most part, except I've gotten tired of some of the repeated plots from the original Kamen Rider. There were like 2 episodes. It's like, oh my god, this is the exact same plot they did in episode 4 of Kamen Rider. Oh, this is the plot of episode 2 of Kamen Rider.
And Tim, to clarify, he meant, what rating do you give the other car themed Sentai series? And no apologies.
Well,
it's hard with text to make sure we're all on the same page.
I did Turbo Ranger was a 2, I think. I think Turbo Ranger was a 2. Car Ranger is a 4. Goanger, I think, was a 1, maybe a 2. I think I'd give it a 1.
Well, you were super pissy with Goanger.
Well, yeah, it's and then Go-Go 5 I gave a 5 out of 5. Because Go-Go 5 is awesome.
And Box Night, your New Year's resolution of moving out of your current place is definitely an important one. And I've been there. I will say throughout my entire life, not excluding him, but altogether, I have moved probably about 20 times, maybe 30. I've moved a lot. But I actually went to 11 schools from kindergarten all the way to high school.
So basically a new school every year.
Went to 3 schools in 1 year.
Yeah, basically a new school every year.
All right. Well, since we caught up with the chat, which I thank everyone for always participating in the chat, I think you want to get to the next episode.
Yes, we'll continue with Mr. Arrowverse after we get through another batch. So episode 39.
30.
Spinder makes his grand entrance onto Earth with one of the coolest entrants for a main villain boss ever. I just thought it was really cool having this giant asteroid come to Earth. He gets up. The prison doors opens, the cage opens up. Then you have the rocks going do 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 opening up. Then you go outside and the prison cage, and then you just have these steps coming down all the way down to Earth. Like you have this laser beam that shoots down, steps come out of it all the way down to Earth, and he's just nonchalantly walking to his minions who are all there, like in line, like.
Well, okay.
And then
getting out of his fanboy.
And then he comes in and he does like the woohoo for some reason.
Okay, so setting him aside for a moment.
Okay, I like when main villains make grand entrances.
Oh no, it was fucking awesome. I am not arguing.
Made me think of Ainz Al Ghul in the second season of Overlord when he goes in front of the lizard people and he like all the like what was it that built themselves up for his walkway?
Sure, that time. That
one time.
But anyways, so if you weren't aware or if you did not experience this musician's grand era, World Spinder. Well, I'm looking at it as what it would be literally phonetically said in English. World Spinner. Because that's how the spelling and the pronunciation of it from the series looks like or sounds like to me. But anyways, he is representative of Michael Jackson because he has the jacket, as Marcus made a joke about early, that is from the Thriller era. He has the longer hair that is from the Man in the Mirror era of Michael Jackson. And then the monkey is something that he's known for because at the Neverland, at his home, he actually had a couple of pet monkeys. I can't remember the name of the more known pet monkey, but he did. So, and then him spinning around, being very vivacious and very extra and saying like, woohoo, and what all the stuff like he does is very reminiscent of different ways that Michael Jackson would present himself when he was performing. And so I actually am a huge fan of how he does it. I know there's a lot of controversy about him and things like that. I'm not going to get into that. But as a musician, as an icon, Michael Jackson has so much that he was always larger than life, which is what Wild Spinner was.
But yeah, he has this grand introduction, which was pretty cool. And I don't remember much of the episode from that, beyond that.
Well, the episode was really...
Which one was that?
That was episode 39.
Right, I know that.
The episode was basically... Sorry,
because I know that is when they reveal, because that's when, what's her name, Shirabe's friend pops up and is all like, oh, you shouldn't think that way. The ISA is doing everything for the defense of Earth.
Well, yeah, we have Miami Baisu.
Yes.
So I like the name because it actually... Miami Baisu reminds me of the name Miami Vice.
Well, that's actually what I thought Miami. Well, first I thought it was Miami, and then I saw it spelled, but I was like, oh, wait, it's not Miami.
But in Japanese, even though Miami is M-I-A.
It's just like Knight Rider being Knight Rider.
Well, yeah.
Or Raita Naito.
They're classic spy shows from America. So we have Knight Rider, we have Miami Vice now. So basically, we get the true conclusion that one, the ISA is evil. The only person who's not evil from it is Shirabe. We also get that Knight Rider, or Nai Raito, is potentially evil. Obviously, there could always be these spy thriller within a spy thriller.
Because he's mass producing the killer robos.
Mm-hmm.
But
and so it was really just a meeting between the humans and not. Obviously, we did have a monster of the week.
Oh, that's right. Because the monster was the scrubbing monster.
Yeah, the sponge.
Because he sucked in all the Rangers, leaving just their suits, except for Red. And then Spinder reveals to Red that the Big Bang Grand Prix is already rigged for whoever he wants to win.
Mm-hmm.
Because then it makes the losers really upset, and they give more gasoline because they're upset.
Well, and he goes on to further double down that Boomer is all he cares about. He don't give a shit about the world ending. He doesn't give a shit about conquering anything.
He just wants his possession.
I was going to say, he just wants his toy back.
He's basically Russia to Ukraine.
Okay.
He wants his Ukraine back.
Just because I remember the USSR and I remember Ukraine was part of the USSR doesn't mean we're getting into that.
I'm just saying. So then our next episode has a kid that is looking for Boom Blue because he idolizes Boom Blue. And he ends up having to hang out with Joe and Mira because Genba and, Chashiro just leaves.
Jets.
And then when they're not looking, Genba and Boomer just disappear.
Because they want to go to their show to meet Bellaro.
But I just love how Mira and Joe are just there like, what just happened?
They left us. Yeah, they did leave us. They ditched us. Yes, they did ditch us. They're just like, and then you see Boomer and Genba just like skipping along. Bellaro.
This is probably the best Joe episode that we've had of all the Joe episodes. Because I think this is the only one we've gotten any kind of shred of character development for him with his dad.
Well, you find out, which I think we already knew, but you find out his father was a police officer. And because his dad worked out in the cold a lot, he always made the comment of he's always cold in his uniform because the jacket looks like it's made of the thinnest material in existence. And so Joe, as a child, decided he wanted to help make it warm.
And did something that set the whole place on fire.
Basically, he put like gasoline or propane on it so that the jacket became warm and
with a heater, it looked like.
Yeah, and everything else.
But so we have this monster that tells people embarrassing stuff about them. Like this guy bombed 24 job interviews, which is like, really? That's your biggest worry? Is you bombed 24 job interviews?
Japan.
Or somebody
well, the boyfriend and girlfriend, the boyfriend finds out that the girlfriend has her biggest shame is that she currently has 4 boyfriends. And the boyfriend there is like, wait, what? And she's like, no, it's because I'm like, one, you have no excuse. If you have 4 other boyfriends, like if you had 1 other boyfriend, you still have no excuse. But if you have 4, that means, oh, please, I have nobody else. That sounds very depressing the way I say it. But I have you. I don't need anyone else.
And then we have Mira gets caught in the thing.
And she failed her driving test 6 times.
I thought it was 4 times.
No, 6.
6.
That's why she was super embarrassed.
and then Joe's like, why are you embarrassed about that? Who cares? It happens to everyone. Because I'm the Boonboomger's driver.
There is a concern. But then again, in all fairness, I had to take my driving test twice.
Well, yeah, because that one guy in New York was an asshole.
Oh, wait, I had to take it 3 times. Shit. Because I took it twice out in New York. And then I took a pseudo driving test here just to get my license. Because the first time I took it in New York, the lady scared the shit out of me and crashed into garbage cans.
I'm a forever passenger, so I never have to worry about that crap.
Whatever you say, Cruellica.
But
yeah, but he's a forever passenger, but he will sure as shit tell you how to drive.
Okay, so we have then the monster goes to attack Joe. And what was the first one he hit him with? Because he hit him with his bank.
He was a -10.
Oh, yes, -10 on his test. And I loved how even Mira's like, how did you get -10 on your test? And he's like, yeah, whatever. What? And then there was one about his bank account, which was
2,400 yen, so basically $24, which technically right now has more than I do. But.
Which was funny, though, because I think it relates back to how he was the richest of them.
No, he was the brokest of them.
Yes, in the Boonboomger episode.
No, the one I was concerned about with Joe, and I'm never going to shame anyone.
The wetting the bed one?
The wetting the bed. All children wet the bed. There's nothing wrong with it. You're getting used to your body. I think the concern is when they said it was up until 13. And once again, I'm not going to judge because I don't know kind of health issues or anything else he might have had, but I was like, wow.
And then I forgot what the other one was. That was kind of funny. But Joe just like tosses it all off. I was like, yeah, my dad told me not to worry about it. Mistakes happen, so you got to do with it. And the kid's like, oh, because I was waiting for the entire time. We're like, okay, when's the kid going to have his sob story? Okay, here we are.
Well, he had it in legitimacy. I can understand his guilt for it because him and his brother were playing on that rounded thing that you can climb up. I don't remember what they're called because
at the playground.
Yeah. And the little brother said he wanted something to drink. The big brother, being a kind older brother, says, I don't have anything. I'm going to run to get anything. Assuming that his younger brother would be good for a moment.
For like 2 minutes, dude. 2 minutes.
Well, the younger brother, as all kids are, continues climbing and playing around.
And apparently fell.
And hit his head. Well, in truth, I have fallen off a number of monkey bars. I have nearly broken my leg, broken my knee, broken other parts of my body. So I am not entirely surprised the poor kid fell. Now, I was thinking they were going to go the super dark path, that he died because young kids hitting their head before it's fully
actually, that did remind me,
strengthened could kill them.
Which one of these episodes also had a little flashback with Taya as a child, with his parents before they died.
Yes, because Knight Rider.
And then the teacher that they talked about way back then, before it went back to
current time.
Yeah, I don't remember if that was actually Spinder's premiere episode when he came to Earth. But that was kind of interesting. Well, it was interesting and kind of weird how it was just like, what just happened?
Yeah, that's one thing that I have to watch again.
But yes, so the kid now suddenly is like, oh, this guy's actually pretty cool.
Well, I think it helps that he shared his bad story that just like him could have killed someone.
But, okay, so then we get this monster grows, and he's got something that is keeping Boomer from being able to move in his area because no cars over
2,000 tons.
2,000 tons can enter. And Boomer's like tries to throw off all the attachments, still isn't working. And then in comes Boondy with the Tokuger stuff, hits him, and the monster's like, wait, how is that possible? He's like, because it's not a vehicle, it's a train.
I thought.
And he's just like, and it's all silent.
And then we have Mira saying, "That's a stretch."
All I'm thinking of is what's his name? Kim, the actor. Kim Jong,
Ken Jeong.
Ken Jong saying, "I'll allow it." Ooh, actually, I need to write that down because I need to save that for.
Oh, I like Ken Jeong, except for in the Hangover series, stuff that he's done other than that. But so that, and I think, like I said, the reason why the little boy is more open to Joe is because like he said, everybody makes mistakes. Everybody's going to make a big mistake. And yeah, it sucks. Now, I will say I'm a little jealous because I never got told shit like this as a kid. I was just had it beaten out of me, like, you don't fucking make a mistake type of thing. But so I really respected it because I thought he was a very moral adult. And then you see at the end of the episode, him with his little brother. And I was like, oh, okay, good. Little brother didn't die. It's kind of like watching the Muppet Christmas Carol, and Tiny Tim didn't die when.
All right, and then after that comes the worst episode of the series thus far. The soccer episode. Apparently, two dudes own all of soccer on Earth, that they're going to sell soccer out to Spinder for his crime-organized soccer tournament in space or something. And in comes Genba, I don't know why I keep saying Genbu. Genba and Sakito to be like, no, we played soccer when we were space soccer when we were kids. We're not going to allow that to happen. And then we have this whole stupid freaking soccer match that just goes off rails. It becomes a basketball game. It gets transported into a Tires Plus like place that has these random dudes just appearing, like, for some reason, to rooftops. And
well, there is FIFA, who is a soccer association, but they don't own the teams.
They don't
just
own the soccer for the entire world. And it was just, oh my god, it was such a friggin' stupid ass episode.
Now, I do have a question. I thought Japan called it like the rest of the world except for the US football.
I've heard them say soccer in all the...
Oh, so they do.
I'm pretty sure in all the Toku shows, I've heard them, they'll say American football, soccer.
So, okay. Please stop saying freaking because people are commenting on how you say freaking a lot.
Freaking?
Yes. Instead of where I actually use the swear word, if I use it, you say freaking. Because in truth, he actually doesn't swear a lot.
Unless I'm playing video games.
Yes, but that being a teacher or being a responsible adult taught him not to swear, where I was raised in white trash, so that is my love language.
But yeah, this episode, you fell asleep, like, I think there was like 5 minutes left when you were like...
I fell asleep halfway through because I was like, one, I was raised around sports. I know enough about football, baseball, hockey, but any of what we called back home the frou-frou sports, like soccer or lacrosse or rugby,
but
we didn't deal with those because
this was the equivalent.
They're not shit.
This was the equivalent to the Q Ranger baseball episode.
It's kind of like even with basketball. Basketball is a great sport, but I don't know enough about it. But when it comes to like soccer or rugby, I tune out because
rugby is just fairy football.
No, rugby is more violent football.
But
of it, soccer, it always appears to me that the people who care are the ones who have money. And that's where my mind goes.
All I know
and
is
I know it's not true.
anytime when I worked at Best Buy, the one coworker who loved soccer would watch it. All it sounded was like a bunch of bees humming the entire
that's because
game.
I think you're watching it from South America.
I don't know what
which is kind of cool.
I don't know what he was watching, but all I heard was this zzz. Like, how the hell can you stand watching this if that's all you're hearing during the entire time? Zzz,
No, my favorite sport.
Buzz. Anyway,
my favorite sport is hockey. So if they could do a hockey Sentai episode, I would be all in.
But yeah, so basically it ends up 2-2. The monster grows big, becomes a giant soccer ball, and Boomer and Boondi defeat the monster to and launch him and the goalie into space. Kaboom! So they get the 3rd point to win. And then the Boonboomgers go to the 2 dudes, the yes man and the older guy, and it's like, here, why don't you play with us? Because you clearly love soccer, but it's cool that you go play with us. And it was a happy-go-lucky, cookie-cutter ending.
The only thing I liked out of the episode was them changing fields, and then Boondi bringing a yellow card each time and saying, "This is common," or whatever he was saying, and I'm like,
this is typical for galactic soccer.
And all I wanted to do, just like Mira, is like, so we're not galactic.
But yeah, and then so I close the thing, and all I hear is, I'm like, oh, she fell asleep.
I was not snoring. I do not snore.
But I want to go through some more comments before we get to our last batch.
Yes, absolutely. So let me get there. I have it, so don't worry. So Mr. Arrowverse16 is watching Digimon right now and watching it with both English and Japanese, watching the Japanese first and then going to watch the English. Now, for the English releases, and you might know more because you've seen like when they put them up online, are the English releases the ones that aired on TV?
In America, yes.
Okay, so they're the edited
dubbed, but they had to go back and use the Japanese footage and basically re-edit it themselves.
Holy hell! They just couldn't take the TV masters that aired in America?
They weren't in good enough shape to use.
So they had to re-edit a show.
Yes.
Just to match.
Match the audio tracks.
How would they know?
I think they just looked over the video footage and would be like, okay, this was cut out.
Or did they get like the master scripts? From, was it 4Kids?
No, it was Saban.
Saban? Okay. And actually, I'd be curious because I know our friend Silverquill has watched, at least for the original series, all of the English. And when we were watching season 1 together, was that his first time watching it in Japanese?
Yes.
Okay.
Because he would point out things that, the dub, he's like, the dub didn't do that.
Well, yeah, and
like Pinocchio Man pulling out that machine gun and shooting at people. He's like, whoa, that wasn't in there.
That makes complete sense because American cartoons really didn't have, especially in the 90s and early 2000s. Like the 80s, we had a shit ton of guns, but they were like they had like the bullets like.
Well, I was going to say, Batman the Animated Series had real guns. Gargoyles had real guns.
Well, okay, so earlier 90s.
Gargoyles was 96.
Seriously? I thought it was earlier 90s.
Nope.
Well, then once again, I didn't watch all of Gargoyles because they kept on changing the station, the time.
It was on Fox all the time.
It felt like it changed the
But they did keep changing the time slot.
And the day of the week.
Only for season 1. Season 2 aired in the fall of 97 at 5:30 p.m. daily.
Okay.
Anyway.
And Star Wars fan says, hello, Cruellica and Kaiju. Hi. Hello. And Thea Games says, my New Year's resolution is to stop criticizing things repeatedly. I criticize the TV channel's rebranding timing multiple times and then need to stop criticizing so much. So I honestly, I can appreciate that. I am really good at criticizing everything. I feel like it's
And you
just
say
my
I'm bad.
nature.
And you say I criticize everything.
You go like crazy criticizing. I make sense. But it's not bad to criticize things when they're legitimate. And I'm looking at you because there's certain things that you criticize that I'm like, seriously, are we going to really complain about this? But but there are times where even I or Hei will go overboard on criticizing. So don't beat yourself up about it. But yeah, at times you do have to give change. And Kaiju, look at me as I say this. Okay, hubby? Sometimes you have to give change a chance.
You know, it's funny that a figment of my imagination is talking down on me like I need to listen to it.
I'm not talking down on you. I'm just saying sometimes we need to give change a chance.
Change! You've got change! Help a guy out.
And Star Wars fan says, guess Spinder is out of this world. Absolutely. I do love the pun. And then, what do you think of Riderman? Riderman, Riderman, does anything a rider can. Da 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 da. It's my very bad singing.
I have mixed thoughts on Riderman. I like the fact that he was a scientist for Destron, but at the same time, they had this Interpol agent earlier in the show who was making frequent appearances who just suddenly disappeared. So I thought he was going to be Riderman. So I was kind of like, okay, then what was the point of the Interpol guy if he's not Riderman? But I do like the little rivalry that he and V3 have had. I've only got 4 episodes left in the show, so I'm excited to see where this goes.
So, no, I think that's fair. I don't know enough about Riderman because I have so many confusing thoughts about it. Grant Smith says, what up? And
Now,
then
what up?
and then asks about Gokaiger's head writer, as they just found out that it's going to be the daughter of Inoue.
Yep, I am excited to see what she does.
And then, when are you going to review King Oger?
When I get V3 and Blazer done.
Now, as to the question of when he'll get those 2 done, I'm anticipating hopefully this month, but...
Well, V3, as I said, I've got 4 episodes left. Right after I finish Ninja Turtles, I will start working on V3's review, because I'm probably going to finish V3 on Tuesday, because that's when I'm planning to watch the last 4 episodes. Finish it Tuesday, have it, and then I'll start working on my script after I get Ninja Turtles out. So that will hopefully be out in 2 weeks-ish. Blazer probably shouldn't take long because it's only half length. So hopefully I can start watching King Oger around the time Boonboomger finishes.
And just for awareness for everyone here, we are going to have a week.
Oh, yeah. We're going to be in Florida for a week, so I won't be able to work on anything during that time.
No. Unless you bring your laptop to work on any videos that you've already pre-started.
Well, it also depends if I'm actually have anything to work on.
Yeah. But yeah, we'll be out there in Florida looking around to see if he likes, as he says, the quote-unquote merchandise of the state, to see if it's somewhere we want to live. All right. And Box Night also took their driving test in New York, so you can share with the world how annoying New York driving tests are. And do you want to just give a quick update for Grant Smith, as they weren't on your thoughts of Spinder again? Grant Smith, your thoughts on Spinder, Kaiju?
I think he's been pretty cool so far. He seems like a really cool mafia boss, way better than what what's his name in Loop Hop was. because this guy actually feels like he's a credible threat, and I love the build-up that they did for him because the whole series was building up, and he made a grand entrance, and that grand entrance was awesome.
And Grant Smith broke their leg when they fell off the arm. Yeah, you broke your leg.
I broke my leg when I was a kid.
And Anthony believes that Boom Black is easily the weakest character in the show. I think character-wise, yeah.
Yeah.
And did you almost say Kim Jong-un?
No.
Because apparently you want to give props to North Korea, which you better not.
No, I was trying to think of Ken Jeong.
And then Grant also notices that soccer is something you're not a fan of. Honestly, he's not a fan of any sport.
Well, baseball's the one I can tolerate the most.
Yeah. And then, FIFA World Cup is the organization that I was thinking of. And this is where Anthony says that you say freaking a lot.
Freaking do not freaking say freaking a freaking lot.
And Grant and Box Knight both laugh at you for it. Don't compare, and Grant also says, don't compare Boonboomger to Q Ranger. And there's a reason for that. Boon Red didn't have any annoying catchphrase, while Lucky had an annoying catchphrase.
Yep.
Yoshilake! Yeah! Stop! Poor Ren's confused why you're throwing his toys at me. This is our kitty mascot.
Dang it, I'm out. Okay, give me that one. Where's the other ones?
All behind me.
Oh, here, Ren, I need that. Give me.
But then we have the Scorpio. Scorpio. Say
That's hi.
Hi.
All right. Hello. Okay, so episode 42. We've got our Christmas episode. We have a sequence of Shirabe being very, very creepy.
Oh, I loved it.
Oh, that was kind of creepy. But other than that, it was a pretty fun episode. I liked how Spinder's like, ooh, everyone seems to be worshipping this guy in red. Who is that? Oh, Santa Claus? I want Santa Claus here. And then Itasha creates a villain, a trash villain, to capture Santa Claus. And he ends up attacking her because she's wearing an outfit that looks like Santa Claus.
Yeah, Sandy Claus was kind of crazy.
And then she goes all Disney with a song. I just loved when, what's his name? Taya is walking down.
About to yell at them to start fighting.
And then she breaks out his song, and he's just like, okay, I'm just going to sit here and go with it. There were
no seats originally, but apparently he's in this big theater. And you have Deco Trade and Yaru, like, what's going on? And they see him, and they see after she's done with her musical number, because Daya starts clapping, and they'll look at him, and so Deco Trade comes up.
Taya goes to Itasha, hands her a book as a present.
No, after they ask about Santa Claus.
Oh, yes, because they wanted to hire...
Because Deco Trade asked, can we hire you to find Santa Claus? And I say Santa Claus because if I say the regular way, it makes me think of something else. So,
Satan Claus? Mm-hmm. From Scheider?
Well, just because...
But, yeah, so we have... But we have... So and he's like, yeah, I can't do that because today is his busiest day. Okay. That's fine. And then he gives Itasha a book as a present. She's like, I've got a present!
Because in her song, she talks about how no one has ever gifted her anything. And the enemy gifted her a book that was so adorable.
And then Deco Trade and Yarukar are like, what's going on? I'm so lost.
So then we see the trash monster going around even further. and taking out other people to the point now that Itasha.
Well, we have Mira first.
Well, Mira, yes.
Because the Boonboomgers come there, Mira's dressed as a Santa, and he sucks Mira in, spits her out with her trashed Santa suit.
Just like for Itasha.
And she's like, why am I the only one that got this?
And then the trash monster sees Sandy Claus on Itasha's book, sucks that up, spits it out as it's all crumpled. Now Itasha has literally lost her mind because she goes up to
the Boonboomger, and she's like, "Are you aren't you gonna defeat him? Go defeat him already.
And
do
you
your
have
job."
Deco Trade and Yurikar who are like, we need to go. The stove is burning.
And then she goes and gets them to go into their what you call it?
Their champion mode.
Yep, the jacket mode.
She robs the champion mode off of Taya. Says, "Good luck. Here, take this." They get their stuff on. She then
powers him up,
pushing everybody else out of the way. She takes the two cats that she has on her shoulders because they have names, which I thought was awesome. Then does the final attack for him. Like, oh my god. It was my favorite filler episode.
It was
second to the craziness of Dawn Brothers.
It was a funny ass Christmas episode, especially because then the monster explodes and she's there posing, and the others are just in the background, like, okay. And then we have our mech battle, which becomes 911 mode. Oh, that was the other thing in the soccer episode that sucked. It was the first time we had 911 or 119 mode in like 10 or 15 episodes, and it's wasted on a freaking soccer episode. But then the lion car becomes like a reindeer as Boomer is pulling it like a sleigh.
And then we have Sandy Claus.
Yep.
Asking them to all help deliver presents, and then our Team Rocket, Itasha, gets a new book.
Well, the book gets restored to normal.
Yes. And then Deco Trade gets a salmon.
Oh, I did find that funny at the beginning. Spinder has a salmon and chicken on his table. And all I'm thinking of is that Lupot episode. With them like, no chicken, no salmon, no chicken, no salmon.
Mm.
And then comes our episode from today, which features Gokai Blue. It also has Chashiro leaving the team for the ISA. And we get our new toy promotion for Gokai O. Which was kind of funny because you see the frame of Boon D being taken off.
Oh god, I felt bad for
to
Boon
put
D.
the Gokai O frame on.
I was like, he's getting naked. He's getting naked here.
But then
this is a kid show.
But then like go on whatever Robo whatever it is. Gokai O's all in CGI.
Mm-hmm. Well,
which just like with the Goanger one looked a bit out of place when everything else is a physical suit.
Yeah, but it kind of made sense to me at the same time.
And then we have our little movie tie-in, which was fitting because which on the other hand sucks because I was thinking, should we watch the movie first, then the episodes? Nah, let's do the episodes, then the movie.
But I did love the fact that prior to us watching the episode, you had mentioned to myself and Silverquill that the episode 43 was getting a Gokaiger crossover with Joe. Or Gokai Blue, you said. And people are...
that wasn't with Silverquill. That was this morning.
I thought you said yesterday.
No, that was this morning.
Okay, nevertheless. But anyways, how people are going on and on and on about, oh my God, there's an Oscar winner in the show, and I'm like, but he didn't win, and it would have been cool for any of the people from -1 to win an Oscar.
Well, he's in an Oscar award-winning movie, so people now
Well,
are
he
like,
technically does get a mini Oscar for that. Like everybody who worked on the film get a mini Oscar for it, I think.
I don't know how it works,
I
but
thought they did.
it's just funny that in an interview, people are like, "Yeah, so you're in this Oscar-winning movie. You're still doing Sentai." And he says, "I will do Sentai anytime they ask me to come."
And I'm like, are we thinking that he's now too big?
Well, I think people are used because of Kuga's actor, because of how big he became after Kuga, that he didn't want to do anything.
And now he regrets being that dick.
I think so, but
well, the main character, not that Joe's actor wasn't a main character from -1, but the other main character, he was in Tokusatsu as well. Are they asking him if he's never going to do Tokusatsu again?
I don't know. It's weird.
It was adorable, but I'm like,
well, and I saw somebody else comment because his actor said the moment he put on that wig, he was instantly. It was like it was speaking to him on how to be back into character with Joe.
And exactly on character.
So one person's like, "Oh, do we have a Green Goblin thing going on here?"
God.
It's like the Green Goblin helmet.
Oh God.
But
I've seen the actor who plays Joe or Gokai Blue in a lot of different stuff, so I've always been a fan of his. But it's just like the actor who played Rui in my live action shows,
but
who is also.
I am interested to see if now Chashiro is missing from the opening credits.
Mm-hmm.
For the team, but I liked how the ending credits at the start they put the bubble for Sakito over.
Well, yeah, they'd have to make a whole brand new credits because they want.
Well, seeing as how they didn't make it brand new credits for Sakito at all.
Well, yeah. Well, yeah, they were kind of cheap on that. And then after this,
we watched the movie.
And the movie brought back all these old costumes from the series. And when a comment was made
for the monsters of the week.
The monsters of the week. A comment was made of, "Why are you all back?" "Oh, we have to get through our stock." And I'm like, wow, this is what they should have said in Ghost. We just have to get through our stock. That's why you're going to see repeats.
But that's why I called earlier. I said they should be Rehasha aliens.
But the movie,
it was
a mid-series movie. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, it was a summer movie. It wasn't as bombastically fun as the Don Brothers movie. It wasn't very original. In fact, I got a lot of the Alba Ranger movie vibes from this one. Only difference is the princess was legit and not a villain in disguise.
Well, yeah. The movie, it didn't build any new character development for everyone. It didn't do anything new.
Well, and the main villains, outside of the beginning with the rehashed suits, Deco Trader and them were not even present the rest of the movie.
No, we just had Demon Thunder.
And his monster. Now, I did like the camera work throughout this movie, especially that opening sequence when they're fighting all the monsters in the forest and the way the camera's moving. And then again, towards the end battle, when they're all running towards the camera's like...
Now, I also did like that Boomer and Bundi got to be in the roll call, even though Bundi actually didn't want to be in the roll call.
That was cool. I did like that her name was Keydor.
Oh, yes. Nicola Keydor.
I just found that hilarious. Keydor.
It would have been better if they just named her Nikola Tesla, because I was like, you already have Nikola.
Maybe her dad's name is Tesla.
Tesla Keydor.
But yeah, Keydor. That was just hilarious.
There it ends.
But it was pretty much a by the book, by the numbers movie that.
Well, we did have a giant mech battle.
Yeah, that was it was interesting. Yeah, we didn't have a giant mech battle, and we didn't have a movie exclusive form.
No. So that's a couple of things that did surprise me. But outside of that, it was fairly by the book. It's not anything I would say to skip. But
just watch it before episode 43.
If you care why they show a clip of a pink-haired chick in episode 43.
Well,
because there have been many times where we, like, at least for me, you'll be showing me a series, a Toku series, that had a movie. We don't watch the movie, but we have an episode that gives, like, random clips to it, and you'll have to quickly explain what the hell went on so we can keep on moving.
Well, it just depends on the series, because, like, you had the ending to Lupot related back to the movie. The evil Albereno in Alberanger that Desmodoria used related back to the movie.
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, you had stuff from Gaim that related to the movie occasionally.
And we have never watched the Gaim movie.
I know.
We never, which was a soccer movie.
But I am just going.
That's right. I'm going to have to watch a movie revolving around soccer when I end up reviewing Gaim. Mm-hmm. I am not looking forward to that. But anyway, so yes, that we are all caught up now on Boonboomger with. Oops, I didn't mean to do that.
Okay, yes. So let me go back.
Oh, do we have a few more comments?
Oh, yes. So we have a little bit more from Grant on Q-Ranger versus Boonboomger. So the mech doesn't combine into one big ball of WTF. And their final mech was the lion, or Q-Ranger's final mech was the lion, the rocket, the station, the satellite, and the other 10 Q-Tamas. So I don't remember the final mech from Q-Ranger, but was it worse than El Clusterfucko?
I don't remember the mech from Q-Ranger.
So
I'm like, what was the final mech from Q-Ranger? I can't remember it right now.
So for anybody who doesn't know the term El Clusterfucko, it is what the two of us call the mech from Shikanger.
That it just became anytime it was just a big mech piled on top of each other.
We just kept on saying, "Oh, is it worse or better than El Clusterfucko?"
Yep, because they just kept on getting bigger and bigger and blizzier.
It's the other thing, like when we watch a movie or a television show or anything that has CGI, we compare it to Zenkaiger and say, "Oh, that was still better than Zenkaiger CGI." So we live by tokusatsu moments for everything in our lives. But so Arrowverse is buying the discotheque versions of Digimon, kind of like what you are for the Japanese, and likes it so far, which I enjoyed season 1. I think it was a little too childish for me, but then again, I was never a big fan of Pokemon.
My only problem with season 1 is how repetitious it got.
Oh, yeah.
Because every arc, they'd have to separate. And then, and usually it would be like either it was a quest or they got into an argument. And then they would get back together, defeat the villain. New arc comes up. Oh, they've got to separate again. And then they get back together, defeat the villain.
Yes. So for Gojucher, there was a couple of comments there of can't wait for it. What's the theme? And as Grant had mentioned and Tim reconfirmed, it's an anniversary theme for this next series.
Basically, that's the best way to put it, because it's a wolf, a dinosaur, a unicorn,
and a bird.
an eagle and a lion.
So yeah, and this is a series that's giving us the first female black.
Mm-hmm.
So we've gotten the first male pink. Now we're going to soon get the first.
Yeah, I guess beast theme would be the better way to put it over animal themed.
And then the Interpol guy from V3 left because he wasn't popular with the audience from Anthony.
Well, I can see why. He was barely even present.
So I'm not going to get too far into the mech for Gojuger yet, only because I don't know enough about it myself. But Grant's comment was, by the way, Gojuger's mech is not your standard, as our 5 main rangers get their own mech.
Yes.
So they're not going to be a combiner?
Not that we've seen yet.
Oh.
I'm sure there will be a combiner. They'll combine after, but right now they've only shown that each one has their own humanoid mech form.
And Star Wars fan asked, so with the last remaining 6 episodes of Boonboomger, how
5.
is it?
It's 5. It's gonna be 40. It's gonna be 48 episodes in total.
So 44, 45, 46, 47, 48. Okay. So with these 5 episodes, I'm for sure expecting it's gonna end with a big battle with World Spinder. But as for how it's gonna go, I actually am happily.
I think
not for sure.
I'm expecting Raita has some secret plan in mind
to double cross.
That he's finding a weakness to get rid of Spinder. That he'll be the one who helps Taya find that. He'll pull out that weapon for Taya to use, defeat Spinder, or at least weaken Spinder if it doesn't affect Spinder directly.
Exactly.
And the ISA will get dismantled, or not dismantled, but the guy will pay for what he does. And what's her name?
Miami Vice?
No. Shirabe will become the new head director of ISA.
And then Grant has reminded us in the world that New York is where Donald Trump is from. Yes, he is a born and bred New Yorker from the city, where we were born in Buffalo. So we're all from the same state, but we lived on 2 different sides of the state.
That's like a whole foreign country.
Sometimes New York City is like a foreign country, but not completely. And then Box Knight as LOL. And then Spinder is not the only gang leader Kaiju knows. There's also Don D from Time Ranger. Well, there's 3. There's Lupa, there's Time Ranger, there's obviously Boonboomger, and I thought there was more.
Well, Donero. Well, there's Deca Ranger had multiple gangs.
That's what I thought.
But there was no like big bad.
I don't think they will do, for Star Wars fan, I'd like to see a mafia-themed Sentai series where the team is a mafia group and the main villain group is a rival mafia group. I honestly don't think they'll do that. It'd be kind of cool, but I don't see them doing it.
Ganging Sentai Godfather.
The only reason I don't think they would do that is because, in truth, there is no mafia or
Goodfelger.
Well, what I was going to say,
I know there's no traditional mafia in Japan, so it wouldn't work.
Well, it wouldn't work because the closest they could get to is either Yakuza, or if they did take the Italiano or Sicilian mafias. The problem is none of them are truly good guys.
And they would, and I was going to say that culturally it'd be frowned upon.
It would be, because they're all truly villainous people. And I will say I personally know this because I was raised around people who are part of the mafia.
So. Although you could do...
Just don't ask me who, because I don't know names and I don't give out secrets.
Or you could do a Sentai, even if it were like a Power Rangers version, where each member is a reformed gang member. One's from Yakuza, one's from the Mafia, one's from...
You're going to take one from the Triad and one from the Russian mob?
Yes.
And And are you going to take another one from the fucking cartel?
Yes.
No!
Yes, they're reformed gang members.
But that's like making an American series where we're going to do a Sentai or a Power Rangers on the Bloods and the Crips.
Why not?
Because you don't do that!
I'm just saying, though, if you want to do a gang-based show, one was a former Yakuza, one's a former Triad, one's a former
You cannot make gangbangers family-friendly.
One's a former Casa Nostro, Cosmo Nostro.
Casa Nostra.
And one's,
You know that's the Mafia, right?
Yes.
Cosa Nostra? Okay. I was just
Yakuza? Oh, Cartel, yeah.
Okay. There is no way.
That way you have a full diversity.
There is no way you
can
make any former fucking gang. What is the Sixth Ranger going to be part of the Hell's Angels?
I was thinking the Black Panthers.
Oh my god, you can't make any of them family
Why
friendly
not?
for kids' TV.
Okay, it doesn't have to be for kids' TV. It could be for adults who grew up on Sentai.
Okay, if you did like an Akiba Ranger like that, sure. But if you're trying to make gangbangers family friendly,
Yo, dog, I've got my henshin device right here. I'm about to fuck you up.
No.
It's gangbusting time.
Okay.
Gangbuster. There you go. That can be his color. Gangbuster.
Gangbusters.
Mafioso Sentai Gangbuster.
Do you know that gangbusters is an actual term for the FBI during the Elliot Ness era?
No.
When they're breaking up mafia.
Okay. Ooh, and then their mech.
Oh my god.
It can be Dillinger Robo.
Oh.
Ooh, there we go. Mafioso Sentai Dillinger.
So we're gonna call it after a Wild West. No, that was after Wild West. A 1920s bank
Dillinger.
robber?
Yes, because it flows right there.
Oh
Dillinger.
Why
Dillinger Robo. Baby.
Why don't we call them Caponer?
Babyface Mecha.
Okay, so Star Wars fan, you are now kicked off the island as you got him going. No, I kid.
That's now I have another idea for another Toku show.
Oh my god. Okay. I do agree that Goju. I don't think Goju would become Garo versus Road 2.0.
No, because Toei will never allow a Toku series to not have them transform.
And then, well, I was going well beyond that. But Star Wars fan asked, why would they have salmon for Christmas? So typically,
I don't know.
Typically, the two holidays or religious holidays, and Christmas technically is part of that Christian religious holiday. Well, actually, no. Thanksgiving's not religious, but Christmas, you can make anything. Nobody has a standard meal unless it's part of their family tradition. So I've seen a lot of people eat fish, things like that. The only holiday that typically has a traditional type standard is Easter with ham. Not entirely sure why, but that's a tradition. And then did you hear about the death of the Kyoryuger actor?
Yes.
Who?
Cyan?
Oh, sorry.
I was like, what are you talking about? Who? We talked about this yesterday.
Yes, the Canadian actor who played
Kyoto Cyan and one of the characters from Caesar X.
It was sad to hear that he passed, especially that he passed due to colon cancer, which my grandfather had early signs of a long time ago, more than 20 years ago. And so it's always sad when anybody passes from a disease, especially for someone who is still relatively young, because he was in his early 60s, I think you said?
I thought it was 59.
Okay, late 50s, early 60s. So he's still relatively young to have passed away from such a critical disease. But then again, at the same time, we also had other actors die of critical diseases much younger than that, even recently. So it's always sad to see someone pass, but at least we will still continue to get to enjoy his character on Kyoryuger and honor his memory that way. And Are summer movies worth watching? It's kind of hit or miss. I would say still watch them if you want.
Yes and no. There are most summer movies are average, they're harmless. Some of them, like the Don Brothers one, are very fun that you just, it was definitely worth watching. There's been a couple I was like, oh man, that really, really stung. But most of them are worth at least watching one time.
And then Anthony Sarkis mentioned for the movie, bringing the Monster of the Week back in the movie reminded them of the Showa Kamen Rider movies, where they're always bringing back the past kaijuns. Yep. Kaijuns are the monsters?
Yeah, that's what they call the monsters.
And I love each time a past ranger cameos in Boonboomger like Gokai Blue. I'm only like 10 episode-ish into Gokaiger, and I keep forgetting about watching more. But I like that Sentai so far. So, Gokaiger was actually one of the first Sentai that Silver Quill had actually watched all the way through. Actually, for quite a few of our friends, it was the first Sentai that we watched together start to finish.
Well, that was also the first one he saw subtitled, start to finish. Because I had showed him Die Ranger and Kaku Ranger, but they were with the Region 2 DVDs, so they were raw.
And
they were raw!
Yeah, thanks, honey. But yeah, so it was nice because it also gave me a love letter to a lot of the Sentai series I had previously watched, but it also unitedly gave us an opportunity to learn about a lot. Either make it to America as Power Rangers for Kaiju and Silver Quill to know more about.
Gokaiger is a great introductory Sentai show.
And then I got to remember these shows.
I don't agree with the people that say you shouldn't watch Gokaiger until you've seen all the series before, because I feel like it's a good introductory series to get you to at least get a taste of what the other teams.
Now, it does spoil a couple of things where I think I know why they're coming with it. But
I mean, you know, at the end of every Sentai series, the heroes are going to win.
Well, I meant the Dead Rangers.
Stuff to think, sure, but
And then Kan Wen makes a comment, so a darker Lupin Ranger.
Yeah, I guess that would be a way to put it.
For my
mafioso one.
Still waiting for a Marine Sentai. Each Ranger is based off the gods of the sea. I actually do feel like they do more land-based creatures than they do sea-based. Well, now, I know birds are technically the sky, but they're more land-based. Well, that's why
I keep saying I would love to see a Marine-based Sentai.
And then Thea Games mentioned, I really didn't like the episode before this week's with Itasha singing like half the episode. Still, I grew up on all the Disney singing movies, so I absolutely adored it. But for somebody who doesn't like musicals, I could absolutely agree.
Itasha went Disney.
And then Kan Nguyen also says a team based on soldier positions, way more. Well, if you did it on something like that where you did, because most militaries around the world have a Navy, an Air Force, and Coast Guard, you could do something like
I was just thinking of in the last episode, how lonely Taya looked in his mech without Chashiro there.
Oh, yeah.
He's just like empty.
I only thought about how Silver Quill always reminds us of that song. I'm so lonely, so utterly lonely.
Usually it's the other one he did when we did Kuga.
No, that birds. I can't remember all the songs.
From The Simpsons.
It's from well before.
It's from The Simpsons.
It's well before.
It's from The Simpsons.
I heard that.
I hear it only during The Simpsons. Therefore, it's from The Simpsons.
No.
But yeah, he just looks so lonely there on his own in his mech, looking at the empty chair next to him.
And then how about a Toku show revolving around boats? See, this is where
Miami Vice.
That's what I was going to say. This is where you like have Miami Vice, you would have Love Boat, you would have all of these boat themed series.
That's why
where
some
you could
marine,
give like Japanese,
because they don't really do any boat sequence stunts anymore. Like because the '80s for Sentai, they were always doing a lot of boat stunts and boat chases, and it's something that they've seemed to have toned down, along with like summer vacation episodes in Sentai. They don't seem to do those anymore. They don't go to like some grandiose hotel to promote the hotel and have a cool location. Because I will say one thing, which I was in a discussion with someone last week, is one of the few problems is a lot of these locations these days, they're just using like the same 4 or 5 locations the entire series. There's not often that they have a lot of these location shots or sequences where you might see something that you haven't seen all series long. It's typically the same spots over. You don't have much in the countryside anymore. You don't have much in the mountains. These islands, they don't do much in the islands anymore.
well, they probably budget-wise can't afford to do all of that.
It sucks because they...
Well, you have to think, the typhoons and the hurricanes that have hit Japan probably affected some of the sets they could use because they changed the...
But there's just not enough variety for their locations right now.
Then why don't you write to Toei?
I will.
Okay.
I'll get myself a Japanese-speaking translator lawyer guy who will write this letter for me.
You could just...
But first I need money. So give me the money.
To write a letter?
Well, to get a translator guy.
Why do you need a translator guy?
Well, because while I'm at the process, also might as well say, hey, how much does it cost to license stuff? And so I can just make it all my own production company.
Okay.
Just license the shows myself and put them out on disc that way.
Moving on.
Anyway, I need money so I can also buy the Power Rangers brand from Hasbro.
Okay.
Do you think Hasbro will let you do it on loan? Like, I give them like $100 every month for the next 40 decades?
Okay, 1. I make money, but I do not make enough money to buy licenses for television shows. 2, I make a good amount of money, but I do not make enough money to buy an entire franchise. 3, I don't make enough money for anything beyond having some fun shit and ensuring you get the equipment you need.
Okay, anyway.
Then, going next, Mad Rex, Cannonborg, Disrace, and Great Risk remind me of the villain generals in Go Ranger. In a sense, their episodes split the show into arcs.
Yeah, I could see that.
Wow, that's your response.
Well, that's all. But it makes sense because each one's been their own arc.
Like the guy who played Josuke from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I don't remember who did Josuke, because that's part 4.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember now.
Diamond is Unbreakable. Natasha is...
Itasha?
Itasha is Nana Mizuki, so deserves definitely a singing episode. And did you two watch the recent Boonboomger movie with Princess Nicola? Did you get the reference in the recent episode's ending?
Yes, we were just talking about that.
Yeah, we watched them in reverse. We watched episode 43, then we watched the movie, so we saw the reference, and then when we saw the movie, we're like, oh, that's where it comes from.
Well,
okay,
no.
Fine. I
said, when we were watching episode 33, I was like, oh, that must be from the summer movie. And then we watched the movie, it's like, oh, yep, that is the summer movie.
And then Star Wars fan says, how about a Sentai series where it's like Lost, except it's 5 survivors, and yes, the main threat is the black smoke marketer. The problem with
Lost it, Jitter?
The problem with the show Lost is they kind of ruined it early on. So
I never watched it, so.
Oh, I found it boring, but that's just me. Power Rangers might be bought by Paramount because Hasbro is trying to do another movie and more shows like an animated show. Well, I wouldn't be surprised, truthfully.
Can you imagine Paramount owning both Ninja Turtles and Power Rangers? how they've come full circle to the next mutations with Power Rangers in space.
Okay, I am moving on.
So then we can have a Power Rangers versus Ninja Turtles crossover again, and maybe they can bring back the in-space cast to meet the Ninja Turtles. Like, oh, what's up? We haven't seen you in so long. Hey, where'd that fifth turtle go that you were hanging out with? Who?
Okay. Now, my favorite comment of all the comments tonight. Kaiju. You're going crazy with those ideas. Hasbro is probably going with Paramount on selling the IP for Power Rangers, so your chance to do that is potentially missed out on. And does Hasbro own Paramount? No. Paramount and Hasbro are two different entities. They tend to work together on a lot of
Paramount
properties.
is owned by Viacom. Viacom owns Paramount, MTV,
VH1.
Nickelodeon, VH1,
and a whole bunch of other channels.
Yes.
Well, it's easier to say that because I don't know if they own, because Universal is with
NBC and
Comcast. So
Paramount owns,
because Discovery is all with Warner.
Yeah, so Paramount owns Ninja Turtles. Obviously for a while Saban was putting Power Rangers on Nickelodeon.
Mm-hmm.
So they were partnered with Paramount for that. Paramount are the ones that have done the Transformer movies, the G.I. Joe movie.
Which, if you think about who owns those toy rights, are Hasbro.
They did the Battleship movie, I believe.
Yes, because Hasbro owns board games too.
I don't know if Paramount did the Ouija movies. I don't think they did Ouija.
I don't know.
But Paramount has worked a lot with Hasbro for all the movie franchises. So I could totally see Paramount buying the Power Rangers license from Hasbro. I just hope that Paramount will allow fair game for everyone, for Shout Factory or anyone who wants to license Sentai, the ability to be able to license them.
Well, who owns the Grudge or Ju-on?
Lionsgate Films.
Okay, so that's why they're shit ass creek.
Yep.
I know I made no sense, but that's my feeling of Lionsgate when they own these fucking franchises and do shit with it.
Just like how there's another Ring movie in the works because whoever owns the Ring might be Universal.
Paramount, I see being a little bit more open-minded because they actually put a lot of the Godzilla movies on Paramount Plus and stuff. So I see them being more open-minded to a franchise.
Well,
obviously, it also is going to be based on contracts and other things are outside of our awareness.
Well, no, I could see that. I'm hoping that Paramount, because they're a bigger company, they wouldn't mind having that person to act as the middleman between the person who wants to license the Sentai show and Toei.
Well, yeah, but this is all conjecture, so this is speculation, but I do believe being that because it could go one of two ways. It could either go to Paramount or it could go to Disney because both of those networks have worked with the Power Rangers franchise.
Disney doesn't want to ever deal with Power Rangers again.
Okay, so Paramount, it could also go to Max, who knows, because Warner or Time Warner could want
But
it.
yes, Paramount also owns Star Trek.
Yes. They've owned it, I think, since the early days.
Oh, I think they've owned Star Trek since the beginning, I believe.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Because Paramount has been around.
Yeah, because CBS had the Twilight Zone.
Mm-hmm.
Paramount.
And CBS is owned by Viacom too, right?
I don't think so.
Who owns CBS? Because ABC is Disney, NBC is Universal. Actually, I think CBS is Paramount. Hold on.
So that would mean that Paramount would own the Twilight Zone. That doesn't sound right.
Hold on.
Oh.
Paramount, yes. CBS does own CBS. Or Paramount does own CBS.
Okay, so Paramount does own the Twilight Zone.
Yeah,
okay.
That's what I was going to say. It's Paramount, but I needed to just...
Well, actually, I guess it makes sense because it was on Paramount Plus for the new series.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah. There's only there's 4 big networks still in existence today. I don't count MGM because they have a hard time with shit. Amazon is trying to get up there, but they're not as big as Warner, Paramount, Universal, or
Well,
Disney.
now that Amazon owns James Bond, because they own MGM.
Oh, they bought MGM?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought MGM was their own entity still.
No, Amazon now owns MGM. So
it might not be hard.
Amazon now owns all the non-Sony James Bond movies.
Yeah, but Sony as well. Sony is one of the big networks too because they own AMC.
They own AMC. They own the.
Wait, so they own AMC theaters and Alamo theaters now?
Yes.
Holy shit! How are they allowed to own 2 movie theaters?
And they own Crunchyroll. And
who owns Regal?
I don't know. I think Regal is Universal.
And Cinemark?
I don't know about Cinemark, but yeah, Sony owns because Sony owns Crunchyroll.
Because I just thought about it with AMC because AMC is part of Sony.
Sony now owns part of Kadokawa.
Mm-hmm.
Toho now owns G Kids.
I know Shout owns Studio Ghibli.
No.
Oh.
No. G Kids was the one. G Kids was releasing their stuff through Shout.
Uh-huh.
G Kids had the Ghibli stuff.
And
stuff.
who's?
Toho now owns G Kids.
So they own what they should have owned in the first place.
No.
Oh.
Toho now owns G Kids.
But they still work with Shout, correct?
Well, they've never worked with Shout before.
Oh. But I thought I saw the Ghibli stuff via Shout.
That was before.
Sorry.
Shout was doing Shout. G Kids was their own company. Shout was licensing the movies through G Kids. G Kids is now bought by Toho.
We are so far away from.
But anyway,
I'm just like, holy shit, we're nowhere near Boonboomger.
But anyway, Max is getting rid of kids' content
on their network.
Yeah, because they just got rid of Static Shock. They just got rid of
on the Max
HBO Max. They've gotten rid of Static Shock.
Why are they getting rid of their? Are they making a separate app for kids content?
They got rid of a ton of Cartoon Network shows. No, they apparently.
Are they selling it off?
No one has the streaming rights for any of those shows anymore. Now that they're gone from Max. Oh, supposedly Max has the BBC Dracula. But anyway.
And don't worry about if anybody wants a crash course in corporation talk, please, I can do a TED Talk on it. I live and work corporations.
Well, there's a Let's Talk for you.
Corporations?
Yes. All right. But anyway, Boonboomger, we had a pretty good selection of episodes, except for the soccer episode, which is my least favorite episode of the entire show. I hate that episode. I'll be talking about the episode again in my freaking review because I doubt anything coming up is going to be worse than that one. But check out the movie if you can, because it was harmless, even though it was kind of eh.
Here's a Let's Talk for you.
Hold on.
Physical media.
Oh, I already planning one.
Oh.
Physical media, toxicity of social media, separating art from the artist.
Actually, I have a script I want to show you for that.
So those were 3 ideas that I have. I just need to actually...
But since we've gone further, Boonboomger has been incredible still. It's by far not my favorite Sentai series, but I do like how it does have, as mentioned earlier, clear defining breaks in the different arcs. You have a lot of different character progression
and they haven't gone overboard on the gimmicks, which is nice.
And while they do still have mech battles, they try to still have fun with it. It is not just having a mech battle for a toy set.
Actually, I just made me think of one thing. I liked how so when we're watching the episode with where Spinder comes for the first time and Taya's henshin device is
Mhm.
broken.
Mhm.
So, and then we have Boomer opens up a briefcase that has like 5 or 6 more in
I
there,
love that. They have
takes it,
stairs.
and Shirabe ends up bringing it to Taya. Then I love that in the movie, Mira gives her henshin device to
Nicola.
and she's like, Nicola's like, you sure? She says, yeah, I can just have Taya make me a brand new one. And Taya's like, that's if I'm going to make a brand new one. I'm like, that's why there were like 5 or 6 new ones in that briefcase, because he probably just mass produced a whole new batch if other people decide to give them away.
Now I actually know why Chashiro. I didn't even consciously think about that.
Threw his in the...
Yeah, he wouldn't give 2 shits because they're spare parts.
Yeah, that's why I also think when they're like, oh, when Joe retrieved it from the treasure monster, oh, you didn't have to do that.
Okay, now I got it. I am with it. I am with it.
Well, that's why I said Chashiro is quit being a Boonboomger.
But with that said, I am hungry, so we need to stop at the bank.
Okay, so we're going out. Cool.
No, I just said we need to do that so we can get dinner after. Or make dinner after.
Yeah. All right. Well, as always, click like, subscribe, the bell notification, whatever else you two have. You're clicking on to support us. You can support us on Patreon and Bluesky at tokuaannetwork, Network, Facebook, Instagram, Discord at Kaiju no Kami. The website is Creativity by Design, LLC.com. And you can buy Kaiju no Kami merchandise at Creativity by Design, LLC.com/shop.
And we do encourage you
in the description below.
If you want to support us, we're not asking everyone to support us financially, so that's not the intent. But if you could share our channel with other friends just to help the subscriber count, and if they're interested in tokusatsu, to do that. We don't want any of our viewers and friends here to feel compelled, but if you do want to support us financially, we do have that GoFundMe that he shared about. We do have Patreon, and in truth, if everybody did, and you don't have to, so that's not my intent for saying it, but if people were to support Patreon for $1 a month, that could actually help financially with equipment, but it is not your responsibility, but it would be cool if you could.
And supporting the Patreon also gets you access to the uncut versions of my Sentai and Rider reviews that I can't do on YouTube because of copyright claims. So, like, for example, my Zenkaiger review on Patreon is 6 minutes longer than the YouTube version because I have additional longer sequences of the footage from the shows in there.
So, if you can, great. But if nothing else, just continue checking us out and tell your friends about us. You never know. They might like our type of crazy just like you do. But otherwise, I hope you're all having a great New Year so far for 2025. And if you have any New Year's resolutions, share it in the comments below. Same thing with any thoughts on these episodes of Boonboomger. Share your thoughts. What did you think of our Oscar-winning movie actor being in a tokusatsu series again? What did you think about all the fun stuff that's been going on with the show? What do you think about Risk, World Spinner, and all of that? But with that in mind, have an awesome rest of your night.
Until next time.
Bye.
Bye.